Hello, and welcome to episode 52 of the Card Show. I am honoured to be. This guy's laughing already. This is guy a joke, man. Ronnie, and Chris, oh, Jesus Christ. Let me just rotate his face up here so you can see him laughing. Look at this guy, laughing so hard. Yeah, look at him. All three of them laughing. Oh, four of them. Oh, they're gone. I've done an intro. That's all I've done. Jesus.
Oh.
So yeah, well, episode 52 of the Card Show. It's going to be a laugh because I've just done an intro and everyone's pissed himself laughing. Bit of a round table. A lot of questions going to be answered. Some going to be unanswered because we're only men. But the most important thing is having a good laugh. I am joined by the UK's #1 podcast, Totally Podcast Boys, Ronnie and Harry. No one claps. Okay, just my own. Perfect.
That's nice.
Just I wanted. I am also joined.
Sport is incredible.
It's amazing. I tell you, it's amazing. Nothing better than bringing people that are all there. Dan, you mute yourself. You're clicking, but you mute yourself. Dan was there clicking, but he's on mute.
Yeah, for the hard of hearing.
Yeah, unbelievable.
Sign language in the corner.
Yeah, I didn't know he was capable.
I'm sensitive,
Yeah, serious. I'm also joined by Hope. It's going to be Vendor of the Year. This should have been last year, in my opinion. Third Dan Displays. That's Ben and Chris. All right, yeah, get there. Unbelievable. Ben and Chris. Look at that. Could also be Community Heroes as well, because they're nominated for that as well this year.
One award each. I think it sounds fair.
I do too. That's all I'm going to say. They might you do for the hobby, but hey, who am I to complain?
Not the best of salty, but it's fine.
Couldn't care. Yeah, listen, exactly that. I'm not asked for a vote. I don't care for votes. It's not my validation. But that's another podcast another time. And last but not least, because obviously he's a friend of mine. Some may say he's my ugly brother. I'd say you're probably right. It's Dan, aka Sports Cards UK. Also YouTuber of the year last year. Doesn't want to be back-to-back YouTuber of the year because he's a humble guy or just because he doesn't care. Probably because he's not going to come to Manchester and get the award, so I'm going to say that one. Big up, Dan.
a little bit of that. Honoured.
Well, tell you what, if intros just don't get better than that, do they really? I mean, Jesus. 5 minutes.
Energy's bouncing off the walls here.
Yeah, maybe we shouldn't have done an 8 PM one. Maybe that's the thing. I mean, log fire's burning, everyone's just going, just signed out here, boys. Hands up, yeah, right, brilliant. Jesus. So yeah, well, I'll answer some questions from which are mainly around the hobby. It didn't have to be. I did put it to these 5 great minds. Listen, any questions, want answer? You've got some great minds to bounce off. I thought, we're going to talk about, were humans the first race here? Were we manufactured by the Anunnaki, or is the Illuminati? But no, it was. Do you like mags or not? Would you prefer SGC or PSA? Brain trust for you.
You got the top-loaded podcast lads on the TV there.
Oh,
wow. That was just so casually dropped in there.
Get to the main screen. Wow. You bad man. Look at him.
Vote for El Toro.
Down to the sellers, mate.
Unbelievable.
Nemo! I found him.
What's up, brother? Nemo.
Tuesday.
Special plays. Oh God, we should get to the questions. Otherwise, I'm just going to take.
It's going to be a long episode.
And we love it, boys. We love it. I hope you're able to put your kids to sleep. I hope you've done everything because it's going to be a long night, boys. Settle in, strap in. I'm going to keep it on because I like it. That was it. I don't get to see it apart from there, but you guys get to look at. Oh, New York, I was there. Anyway. Concrete jungle. Anyway, I'll start with the first question. I will say, guess. Is that actually do points for it? No prize. I feel like people saw who wrote what question.
I did see what Ronnie wrote, so we were out of the equation.
Hey, there's 2 points in the bag there. 2 points in the bag. Right, we'll start with the first question. I like this question. I did give ample time to sort of think about it, reflect. I didn't want to put them on the spot. So we go. First one, I'll go with. I'll start at the top here. I'll go with. What has been your highlight so far since you joined the hobby, and why? And I'll start with Dan because you're at the top. Very easy.
I would say, I think it would have to be winning greatest YouTuber of all time. Sorry, YouTuber of the Sportscaster YouTuber of the year. I would say.
So humble.
What did you win? I didn't even know you won that.
If you could put a picture up on screen, Patrick, that would be very much appreciated.
Patrick as well, you know.
I can
Patrick.
send you one as well.
I bet you can. I bet you can.
I
Okay.
actually did I leave it in? I actually had a bit in the video
Pause.
about people calling you Patrick, but I think I
You did.
cut it out because it
No,
was
you left
too
it in.
long. Oh, I did
Left it
leave it
in.
in. All right, okay.
Mhm.
Anyway, sorry. Yeah, because it was.
Shameless plug for his own video there, but never mind.
Yeah, sorry, Sharon. No, it was a very nice recognition of the hard work that I felt I'd put in. That was all.
Because of the duckhead, never mind.
So I would say that would be it.
Oh, nice. That's nice. That's nice. Next, we'll go with RP trading cards, aka Ronald.
Yeah, funny enough, this is my own question. So if I don't answer this one properly, it's going to be a bit of embarrassment. But I think similar
You've
to
given away
Dan-
the answer now, haven't you?
Oh well.
One question in. I got one question in.
Calm down, Duck. I think like Dan there. I think when you win recognition for podcast of the year, that was quite a big achievement. I think after all the episodes and obviously getting Harry on board, and it was the first time really that you could sit back and actually realise what you had done so far in the hobby and within the UK. So that was definitely the highlight moment because it was just nice to actually see that other people actually are liking the content you're putting out and you're just not a weirdo sitting in your room like I am now. Pretty much it, really.
Probably say you are still a weirdo, but never mind. That's nice. That's nice, though. It's nice. Mr. Chris from Third Down Displays. What is it for you? What's your highlight so far?
Well, yeah, as we haven't won any awards apart from the ones we've given each other.
Get the violin out. Come on, get the violin out, boys.
Yeah. Apart from this year when we pick up two.
You're in Player of the Month.
Hey!
Well, yeah, I managed to play
Your own
football.
company.
I reckon we'll go with that. The charity game.
Okay.
Playing there with other people from the hobby and seeing how far it's come, and not breaking anything. Even though Ben had money out on my legs. So yeah, that was the real moment of the last few years.
Oh, nice.
Guess it's hard to break anything when you only play for 2 minutes.
I did longer than that. Thank you, Harry. Being sat at home doing nothing.
Wow. Next up, we'll go for Ben from Third Down Displays.
Can I just add that's still open? So if anybody wants to take out a card show,
What's the bounty? Oh, I know what the bounty is. How much is it?
top loaders, card stands, whatever you want, really.
I'll do it for the satisfaction.
Yeah, slap bag, mate.
Wow. Slap back to Harry, yeah. Slap back to Harry for sure.
I'll do it for a slag bag.
I think ours has probably got to be just the traveling with the card shows, just seeing all the different collectors, the different sort of kind of collectors we do as well. Not only here but abroad. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, man, definitely a big part of it for sure. Last but not least, HJA, Harry. What is it for you, my friend? What's been your highlight and why?
I mean, I think it's got to be none other than becoming the second half of the Top Loaded podcast. Obviously, was in the hobby, and I think it was then nice to probably solidify a bit more of a part within the hobby and join Ronald, obviously, on the podcast venture. So yeah, I think that's going to be my biggest sort of moment, I guess, in the hobby thus far was joining up with Ronald, closely followed by going to the card show in Germany and seeing a different country within the hobby, which I'd never really thought I would ever do. So yeah, I think that's got to be my biggest highlight so far.
Yeah, I know Dan obviously really enjoyed hitting up Germany for his card show as well over there. Yeah, I could say that my award, one of the many. There's a few more back there. I won't get them all out. Jesus, I don't want to bore you. Oh, geez, but that's probably it's nice, isn't it? It's see through, which is nice. Look at it every day.
Like your personality.
Right, your band, your per band, getting banned. How to kick him out in chat now? How do you mute this guy? Yeah, remove him. We don't need him, do we? What an idiot. We won't take violence on these. That's abuse. I won't take it. I won't stand for it.
You've actually removed him.
Yeah? It's a joke.
Yeah, he's
It's a joke.
Sin binned.
You look here. They said, get him back on. Just give him one more chance. He's from Yorkshire. He doesn't know what he's talking about. I said, all right, one more chance. But no, I think meeting obviously you guys and meeting everyone, going around the UK and obviously going to America and stuff like that, and meeting people from the hobby, definitely a highlight because the connections you make, the stories you hear, is part of personal growth as well. So that'll be my sort of highlight really. No one cares.
Inspirational.
Thank you. Now you hit me with a compliment. Interesting. It's interesting. Next up, here we go. So, how do you view the role of influencers in the sports card market? Are they boosting the hobby's popularity or causing inflated hype and prices? I'll start from the back here. So I'm gonna go Harry. Get yourself on screen.
I think for me personally, I think it depends on the content that's being created. For example, I will use one of our many people on the episode today, Dan, for example.
Yeah, get him blamed.
No, it's not been a blame, point of the finger. It's like the content that's going out there is an insight into the hobby. What he does when he's grading cards, similar to El Toro, similar to GBW, in terms of grading cards, box openings, card shows, general day in the life content. Obviously, it's not as common. I think me and Roddy said it's not as common. Obviously, nowadays we have people that say, "Oh, invest in X, invest in Y, invest in Z," and people go out and go nuts and buy in whoever that these said people have said to invest in. So, I think at the moment, the way it is at the moment, I think influencers in the hobby are bringing more people into the hobby. I don't think it's really a negative. I think the people that we have influencing as such are very good role models for the hobby. I think it does bring a lot of people in. It's a good insight into what the hobby is. Whereas, arguably a year and a half, 2 years ago, you had a lot of people that were just saying, "Oh, invest your money in these, invest your money in that," and people were going out and prices were inflating as a result of that. But I think the influencers, the content creators that we've got in the hobby at the moment are there for a good reason. And as a result, it boosts the hobby and it boosts the people within the hobby. So I do think at the moment, yes, influencers or content creators, etc., are there for the right reasons, and it is bringing a positive atmosphere to the hobby. Was my input in that.
That's an interesting take. It's an interesting take. We'll go with Dan, aka Sports Cars UK.
Yeah, I echo those points. Really, I think to quote Spider-Man, "Great power comes great responsibility." As an influencer, if you're going to call yourself that, I'd never call myself an influencer because that makes me feel
You just said as an influencer. You definitely did.
Oh no! If you were if someone calls themselves an influencer, as an influencer, I mean, there's an element of responsibility where, like I say, you're not using your platform for bad. You're using it for good. You're not pumping and dumping cards. You're not telling people what to invest in. You're telling people the right things. So I do have people that message. I wouldn't call myself an influencer, but I do have certain people that message me, and I do feel there's a massive responsibility for me to tell them initially, you will make mistakes, and if you are looking at it as an investment because you've seen someone say you can make loads of money in sports cards, only invest what you can afford to lose. I think there's certain things that people think that maybe don't need to be said, but probably should be said, especially with younger people as well. So yeah, I think as long as influencers are doing the right thing and they're talking to people in the right way, then I think they're brilliant for the hobby in terms of bringing more eyes. If people are worried about prices of cards and the market crashing, the market falling, the way you improve the market is get more people in, get more competition, get more bids on your cards. So more people in the hobby can only really be a better thing. But more people in the hobby obviously means that things like base cards are going to fall in price, but the lower numbered stuff it's going to be harder to get, but probably will increase in value. So as long as influencers are doing it in the right way, then I think it's a great thing for the hobby. But influencers doing things in the wrong way is very bad for the hobby.
Okay. Let's take up RP trading cards point of view.
Yeah, I think one of the good examples of this is Castro, obviously one of the biggest Twitch streamers who started probably about, I think lockdown wise, started opening some boxes here and there. Obviously now we've seen him transition into having his own breaking business, but that's been used in a positive way because it's brought an influx of quite a lot of people and a lot of eyes onto the scene. And now he's giving people the opportunity to get in at a lower cost as well, which is very good. And he's very open with how much he spends on a lot of stuff and live streams card shows. So a lot of people through that way got to see the hobby before actually buying into it. Obviously, you're going to get some people who might just buy a card here and there just because he's buying it. But then that is a good positive way to show the hobby off. Whereas remember some of the pump and dumps of 2, 3, 4 years ago where they were just like, buy this, buy that, buy this, buy that, which people who was in the hobby knew this ain't a good idea. This is not going to work out. What he's saying is not always truthful, but if it's done in the right way and bringing new light to it. I think another example is Randolph. Obviously has ace grading. I know they're talking about going into sports cars as well, but he's got such a market to tap into with his podcast and stuff like that can really bring a lot more eyes on it, but not US side, but actually UK side, which could be fantastic for Pokemon and sports.
Yeah, I agree with that one. I definitely agree with that part. Let's see what Ben's got to say with the down displays.
I think they're essential to educating a lot of people, and especially the newer people that are coming in, the ones that are watching from purely social media, the ones that are thinking of going to shows, things like that, that there's a big anxiety of walking into a space that you don't know. You don't really know how it's going to go. You don't know how it's supposed to operate. And when you've got people sort of showing how to do it and that side of it, it breaks down a massive barrier of getting people into shows. There's obviously the bad side, the monetary side, the people that are going to try and get the money out of you. But I think we need them. We need them to get people in, break down the barriers and all that side, really.
Okay, it's interesting. Chris, I know you're watching the cricket there. Do you have an input on this?
Well, unlike Dan, I'm happy to call myself an influencer, a man of the people. And, I'm joking, boys. I'm joking. But I think it's like echoing quite a lot what you lads are saying, that it's quite a grey area. As important as they are, it's important that the message that they put out is the right one, that they're not advising buying someone because they're sat on a load of them because they want to pump the price up to get the money back. That they sort of try and educate, that sort of thing. Quite a lot of the stuff you're sticking out there at the minute, good old Pat Grip about following the trends and doing your research before you look at investing in a certain player and that side of it. That stuff for someone who's new and who's looking to get into it's really helpful, because as we know, there's that many sets that you could be pumping money into a set that's essentially trash when you could, instead of buying the 10 cards of that player, bought his Prism Silver instead, because we know that's a card that holds value over time, sort of thing. So yeah, we'll go with that.
That's nice. That's nice. Appreciate the shout out. At least.
All right, mate. I'll look after you.
I know, I can't believe you're watching the content there. It's interesting. But yeah, obviously I don't see myself as an influencer. I just see myself in this hobby I'm just trying to give back, because it's given me a lot. Not just the people I've met and the stories and sort of the personal growth I've had because of interactions with people, but it's given me a lot. So it's always good to give back. And I think there's a lot of people out there that, especially there was, I don't want to mention show and people, but there was a lot of people around a certain show that were, this guy pumped, base cards, base Paul Pogbas and whatnot. And it was like, okay, I can see why people don't like this sort of person, but who was out there telling the people, really look at rookie cards, or really look at going away from base, look at numbered, look at parallels, look at silver prisms, look at these sort of stuff. So it's like you can't blame someone for saying, oh, we should all buy this, if no one's saying, well, look at the data, look at historical data, we see that these cards don't do well as investments for 2 months, 3 months, 6 months down the line. We know that these stuff do. And, it's kind of, one of them, ignorance isn't a way of sort of defending it. Oh, well, it's not my job to help people. You can't blame people then for having a point of view if it's wrong, sort of thing. So, yeah, influencers are needed for eyes, but also, like Dan said, the great responsibility on their shoulders. So they've got to make sure they do the right thing and not just do it for clout. Bit of TikTok money.
Yeah.
Jeez. Adeline Pogba.
Exactly. Next up, so should jersey number have an impact on the overall value of a card? I'll start with Chris, since we just ended with him. Put my face back as a duck.
Ooh. As a collector, if you PC that player, I see why you'd want that. Should it have an effect on the price? I don't know. Probably not, but I think it will do. It always will carry a bit more clout, especially if you PC that player. If it's sort of an investment, a buy, that sort of thing, you're probably going to stay away from it. But for a PC piece, and if that's the sort of thing you've gone down where you want jersey number to match, obviously with the card, then yeah, you may be happier to pay that extra few quid to have that card.
Yeah. We'll go over to Harry.
So yeah, I think it depends on like the number of the card. If you're talking of a card that's numbered to 399 to 199 to 150, whatever it is, and you've got it jersey numbered like out of 150, no. Like for me, it shouldn't make a difference. Like it's just by pure fluke, you've got the jersey number, but the card's got 299 different variations. For some of the lower numbered stuff, like I still don't think it should create that much of a difference. Like for example, if you've got a jersey number of 7 out of 10, don't get me wrong, as Chris said, it's going to get a lot more clout. You're going to think, oh yeah, I want the jersey number. And as Chris said, like I think there's more of a collector rather than a flip. If you PC for RPC, Erdegaard, for example, so any jersey number would also be more attractive, be more obviously obtainable. So, but I still don't think it bumps the card up by another 50 quid, another £60 because it's jersey number, so it's got a much higher premium. Arguably people have different opinions, and people do think, it's jersey number, so it's more expensive, it's higher than the last comp. Again, I don't necessarily agree to that extent. I do think it holds a slight more of a premium, but we're not talking, silly money. But I said it only really probably I gather would apply to the collector of said player, said team. But yeah, if it's a card number to 299 to a higher numbered card, it shouldn't make any difference whatsoever.
Okay. Let's see what Dan had to say.
I actually think it should.
Okay.
I think collectors are like somewhat in competition with each other a lot of the time, and if I have a card that is number 5, it's like a player that's a number 5 and he's number 5 of 10, and then I myself have a PSA 10, another collector might have a PSA 10. I would say that my PSA 10 is probably better because it's a 5 of 10. It's almost like I would rank, if let's say there was the lowest number card other than a 1 of 1 was at a 10, I would then rank 1 of 1 as the most sought after, most expensive version of that card. Then I would do the jersey number to 10 if that was a thing, and then any other number to 10. Just to add another one in there, you might even go jersey number, and then you might go bookend and first print, and then you'd go 2 of 10. But I think it should. I think it should have more value. I think it's desirable. It looks good if you have a player that's that is number 5 and you have their 5 of 10 card. If you already have their 1 of 1 and then you're going for the rainbow, that 5 of 10 is pretty cool to have. I think it's pretty desirable. So I think it should have a premium. However, that premium, as I agree with Harry, shouldn't take the mick.
Do you think it differs if it's on the front or the back of the card, the numbering?
No, not necessarily. Not necessarily.
Okay, let's see what Ronnie has to say.
Yeah, I think one of the words that Dan used there was the perfect word, was desirable. I've had it a few times with some of the collections that I've been chasing, and depending on what player, what sport, obviously a lot of people know the American sports have got a lot higher in numbers. So, for example, some of the defensive players in the NFL in the 80s and 90s, which you won't be able to get in most parallels. So unless you're going to 99 or to 150 product, then that's when you can actually get their jersey numbers, and actually makes it quite cool to chase. I always remember watching a video of Aaron Donald cards, and he barely had any cards, very high-end ones, but people do chase their jersey numbers because it makes it that bit more niche of, oh, look, this one is tied to the actual person. For example, I think a good example in football is like some of the younger players now, Declan Rice, who's in the 40s, Foden's in the 40s. So a lot of their shorter print stuff, which is more desirable, like people have been saying, the golds or the oranges or whatever it might be. You want that, but then when you get to like the 50 to 75, rather than them all being quite lower price cards, to have that jersey number to chase does bring a little bit more of a premium. Obviously, like we say, don't take the mick, not like twofold, threefold, but there is a certain percentage more. I think it's always good. And eBay one of ones are never going to go away, but it's when they start taking the mick with like times in the numbers together to create their jersey. No, none of that one. But I think it's always nice to have a little premium on a player's shirt number or something relatable to that person.
Okay. Let's see what Ben has to say.
I think it's more if the number's iconic to the player. So, say your Ronaldo, your Messi, Aaron Donald, things like that. If the number is something that when you see them, you see the number, I'd say there's a premium to that. Not too much, but something. If it's just a random shirt that they wore for 2 years, probably not.
Not even to that fan base.
I don't think so.
Okay.
How many people will be chasing that one number? It's not going to be relevant in a couple of years. They'll change the shirt number, a different team.
Okay.
Whereas the iconic numbers, they're there to stay. You see Beckham, you're always going to see number 7, aren't you?
Yeah. What do you do for Kobe? 8 or 2-4?
Either. Depends what you can get your hands on.
8 out of 24. Easy.
Yeah. Add all numbers together.
Yeah.
All right. My personal opinion is, yeah, they should have a bit of value, man. Come on, we need some chases in here. You know, well, why not? Mahomes 1.5. I know I'm hunting down them 15, don't I? So yeah, come on. I do like it. I do like it. It's something different as well. I think sometimes you can just go through the same old. You know, it's just a number, but I don't know, to have a 1.5. Yeah, it's nice. It's nice. I'm blushing it. I feel like a school kid. It's nice. It's nice. I don't know, man. It makes me feel like that much more like it's a better card, man. Like, yeah, it's better than your 14. It's a 1.5 like his shirt, man. I mean, like, yeah, it makes me feel better about the investment. I ain't gonna lie. You know, especially if it's a PC thing. I'm like, yeah, I feel better about it because 15. It could be 15 out of 299. It's still 15, you know. I don't mind paying a little bit extra. Just listen, it's how it makes you feel. So, and I think, you know, you can't put a price on how things make you feel. So yeah, for me, I'm a bit of a sucker for it. I know Dan mentioned his last video about napkins, and obviously it was actually a napkin he got, not an actual napkin patch in a card. But the way the world is, it's obviously hard to get actual game used stuff, especially with the COVID era. So yeah, having napkin patches and it's jersey numbered as well. It's kind of nice, man. It's just that little something when you don't get anymore. I think if it was in the, you know, a better world and I wasn't hunting down napkin patches because every patch was game used, and maybe I wouldn't have that affiliation. But because of the whole, there's so many like disconnects to being it perfect, and you have to just clutch at what you can get. Okay, jersey numbered, yeah, and you know he wore this at an event, so yeah, and you know you have to clutch onto these things. So whatever makes you enjoy your hobby, man, that's what it's all about at the end of the day. You know. Here we go. Here we go. So, if you're in charge of Fanatics/Tops, how would you set the card industry forward? That'd be interesting. It could be quite a long-winded on that one because, you know, there's a lot to do here. So, if you were the main man at Fanatics/Tops, you know, what's your steps? Just give me 5 steps. Was it 5? We'll say 5 steps. Jesus, say 5 steps of what you'd like to implement to sort of take things forward. Start with Ben. Why not?
Cheers. Run the 5 steps on the there a bit.
Try to. You don't give me 3 steps.
Yeah.
I mean, how many steps you can take?
Slow down a touch, just with how much they're throwing out at them.
I thought you meant me then. Jesus.
No. Slow down.
Okay. Less products
as well. I like what they're doing when they're getting the players involved with the streaming and things like that. So that's probably look at something where you feel a lot more involved with the sport, whether it's things like when they're putting match one patches in related to the match that it's in, so you can feel that step closer to it. I think that's pretty much it, really.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah,
nice. Yeah, that's nice. I don't know about another third down displays character. We're going with Chris. Interrupting his cricket, I know.
I was listening then. I'd if I was in charge of tops, I'd place a hefty order with third down displays. My first job. I'd look at.
Would you use code TTP10 for 10% off that as well?
Let's not plug the boys. Come on, let's not plug
All
the
right.
boys.
I'll edit that.
That's Ron's moment.
Sorry, all right. Right. Are we using code SportsCard UK for 10% off?
Look, you can all fight over your codes afterwards. They'll be in the bio.
Well, geez, my fucking podcast, I'm laugh. Jesus. You want people's links to bios? Jesus.
Yeah, I'd listen to what the people are asking for. I think they want a lot less naff sets. Sort of go with more quality. People are happy to pay a little bit more if they know the quality's there. So I'd do that. I'd sort of get rid of some of they're almost filler sets between the bigger releases. Sort of slow down that and still try and make it affordable where you can for people to be able to buy and rip a box yourself. We all know that if you want to buy a decent box now, you're a few £100 in. If you're talking American sports, you're looking up to $1,000 for a nice product to open. So to make a nice product affordable, that'd be quite cool. And I'd keep releasing cricket sets because I'll keep buying them. Yeah, that's it. I've taken over tops.
You wouldn't have to buy them if you're the head honcho, so you'd get them first online, wouldn't you? I mean, you'd be loving it.
I'd have them all. They've been on to the release.
You'd be doing one of those card show things where you go, oh, I guarantee a 101 will be pulled because you'll be taking all the 101s to a side, wouldn't you? Oh, Jesus, unbelievable. Next up, we'll have HJ cards.
So I think the first thing I would do is scrap the non-associated patches. They're just shocking. I mean, you find a patch card, you pull a patch card, flip it over, not associated with any player, event, whatever. It's just like, why? I could have stuck a bit of red cloth in there and no one done any different. So I think it needs to be player worn, game worn, and almost like a little, possibly when the game was that it was worn, it's anything, just a little bit more of like that sort of personal touch as opposed to it just being non-associated. It drops the value so much in some of the cards, in my opinion, on the fact that it's non-associated. So that'd be the first thing that I would do. I would then echo Chris and say that I think they need to listen to the hobby more in terms of what the hobby wants, what people are looking for, what people are wanting to see. Because ultimately, we are the target market. And if they're releasing stuff off the bat, willy-nilly here and there, pumping stuff into the hobby that people aren't going to want, ultimately their target market aren't buying it. It's the bottom line. So I think obviously listen to the hobby a bit more. I also think the quality of the cards, I think, QC controlling a lot of certain products obviously isn't fantastic. Let's be real. I know sometimes they can't be helped with the pure volume of cards that they're producing, but a slight bit of QC control. What else was I going to say? And I think just the reuse of the same pictures is just mind-numbing. Like the amount of cards you've seen in the last 3 years of the same player where they've used more or less the same picture every single time. It doesn't take 2 minutes to change the picture on a card. I could be wrong here. I'm no tops expert, but I would like to think it doesn't take that long to change the picture. Unless it does, I think I can't be asked to reuse the same one from last year, which would make sense. So yeah, I think that's probably a handful of stuff that I would probably do if I was to be in charge of Top Talk Fanatics for a day. Do you know what I mean?
No, not for a day, lad. For life, eh? With them thoughts. Get you in charge.
I mean, the money I'd earn, I wouldn't mind.
I'll pass it over to Dan.
Yeah, so I've got a few things. I was just noting things down so I wouldn't forget. I think they should do open panels and events. I think they should host their own events. That it doesn't necessarily have to be rivaling people's card shows, but I think it could definitely be a launch party of a big set. Could be flagship. They do a launch party or something for a promotion for that. Invite loads of people that all of us that have got kind of podcasts that share Instagram stories and YouTubes and podcasts and all sorts of stuff, or anyone with a voice in a hobby. I think they should get licenses for the championship. I think people have been screaming that out for ages. It wasn't so long ago that Fulham were in the championship, and we just didn't have anything to go after at all. Potentially get licenses for darts and boxing. Would like to see licenses for both of those. Enough Barca and enough Arsenal. There are other teams out there. It just seems to be an Arsenal set or a Barca set every other week. I mean, it's fine, and I understand that they're like the biggest teams in the hobby. Breaks seem to sell out straight away for Arsenal, Man United, and Barcelona. But it'd be nice to see something slightly different. I get the team sets are kind of easy sales, but there's even expensive sets like the Invincibles set, and then other stuff which is quite cool. But I think it'd be nice to share the love. I think definitely. Maybe like player of the season cards and things like that for each team. You could have a team set of team player of the season, and then people could collect the entire set for that, and you could have parallels that are in that. It doesn't have to be necessarily expensive. I like the Lost Rookies idea, but switch it up with some other stuff like that player of the season type card, and then just licensing battles with stickers. I think the Euro 2020 album was a bit of a horror show for Panini, and I'd say Panini because it's predominantly been Panini, but sticker heads, people that haven't necessarily kept an eye on the card market, but I've got a couple of friends that do the stickers every year that don't collect cards, that were messaging me going, what's going on here? Why is half of the team missing from the album? Why is there no Mbappe? Things like that. The licensing issue and battle between Panini and Topps this year was obviously probably a negative thing for the hobby, because there was lots of news articles about how it wasn't good for collectors.
Yeah, I agree with that. Pass it over to Ronnie.
Yeah, I think one of the things I would implement is actually having people who know the clubs design the checklists and the cards. For example, I don't think any Arsenal fan would want a Van Persie auto or stuff like that. Is actually have people who know about the clubs and teams, the histories, be on the sets, because there'd be a lot more things that could come available and cool things that they could produce. Like, there's so many players that have been left out of checklists in the past where it would have been like a nice young rookie to put in who's later on gone and done things. But I suppose you're never really going to do that when it's just like one guy always doing the checklists. And I think just to tap on what everyone said, like an open just groups that meet up once every 3 months just to discuss different issues and just to talk about different sets. Because personally, coming from a background of collecting more of the women's side of the hobby, like Panini and Topps very rarely put any content out at all about that side of it. And even if they've got the rights to the Champions League, the World Cup, whatever it may be, them releases, you could, if you didn't go out of your way, you wouldn't even know they were coming out. And how are people meant to get into that side of the hobby if they don't know what's coming? Like, they recently not even recently, the last proper set probably come out was the Women's Donruss World Cup, which was near enough about 8 months ago now. But Panini didn't do anything for that, not one bit at all. And it's the same for Topps with Chrome and Sapphire. We just don't see anything. So it would be nice for them not to plug certain players and certain sets, but actually get everything out there. Why not do some stuff with the England cricket team for the New England set out, or Team GB, for example, for the Olympics? Like, you've got the rights to these athletes. Surely they can kind of put stuff out on their socials as well. That's what I would do, is use the people that you have deals with to get the word out to people who actually want to collect the stuff, and not just the same people. For me, it just is a bit of a no-brainer to get the content on their channels as well, because then you might get another 5% of people might want to collect it.
Yeah, that's definitely, it's interesting. That's very interesting. Yeah, I think a lot of you made a lot of good points there. It's interesting that as we talk about how it sort of affected this last year or so of cards with the battle of Panini and Topps, and that's probably the biggest mistake they've made. Like, coming in and buying Topps, okay, cool, you're getting the NBA and NFL from 2025. You've got all the licenses of Chrome, bringing it back, which is great for the collectors from the past of the American sports. I think they should have paid Panini whatever they wanted, because I think the money you'll make in the next 10 years, 15 years, you're going to recoup it. But this year, I know people are left of other reasons as well, but you're going to leave the hobby when it's so crowded like this. When you're a massive NFL fan, all of a sudden you can't get your favorite players' cards because he's a Topps athlete, so everything in Panini is going to be unsigned, or the Topps cards are going to be signed but no badges, no logos. It's kind of like, well, unlicensed stuff now. Is that where we're going? Everyone's been slagging unlicensed stuff off for years. But Leaf, I said it before, Topps should have bought Leafs. Fanatics should have bought Leafs. Leaf don't miss a trick. They get these kids signed up at college. They get them to sign on card autos, and they're doing auto cards for like 3 years before everyone knows about them. I made money last year on it. This year I'm still making money on K Williams. I've already started buying my Carson Beck stuff, my Arch Manning stuff, because it's where it's going to be for autos. Because what happens if he signs now for Panini? He's not going to be in top stuff and this and the other. The battle has moved on now to not only what sports you sign for your company, it's what athletes you're signing, and we're seeing it daily now. New athletes or college students essentially just getting signed up to deals, and then you think, okay, well, next 4 years, they're not going to see them sign for Panini or not seeing them for Topps. It can kind of put a bit of a dampener on it if you want to collect someone, especially because you're never going to get that guy's Prism auto, for instance. So I definitely would have sort of made sure we've got things lined up. If you want to be taking this hobby to the next level, you would suck up a lot of signing Panini and other things to make sure that the next 10, 15, 25, 35, 50 years, the hobby's in a great place, because you, I won't say monopolize it, because we're still going to have, Wildcard and Futera and these other companies coming out and stuff like that, which is cool. But yeah, you should have definitely safeguarded it, because it's been a bit of a shit show this last year. I like the fact they bought their own printers. It baffled me that both Topps and Panini didn't have their own printers and it was like a third party. That's kind of crazy. So that's a plus. I would obviously make sure they've got more. I would also look at other countries. I think if you start globalizing it, it can help a lot. We've seen a massive rise in sort of the Asian market now, in collectibles in general. So I think you'll see a lot of, I think Pokemon, obviously it's going to be hard to get Pokemon because of their deal with, is it Konami they're with? Konami, whoever it is. But we did see a MetaZoo sort of thing, so I think TCGs will be big because of the Asian market. I think basketball's going to be big as well because of, again, the Asian market. But I think that sort of stuff's going to be good to go into. And I like the idea of championships, lower leagues, Topps now as well. Bring back Topps now. I want to go to a game, see a worldy goal. Like, imagine being at that United Everton game, the Garnacho red kick, and then getting that card like a week later. Imagine getting put at parallel because it's a Topps now card. It's like there's so many opportunities to get people involved and have a sort of a massive connection to a game, and a nostalgia factor of I was there for over a kick at goal of the season, and there's like a parallel of it. There's there's only 1,000 people bought the card, and this is a one of one. There's a lot of things to do, but they won't hire me, unfortunately. So I'm just here with you guys. Next up, here we go. So, would you put any premium on the entertainment during a break/stream? Someone with a bit of patter, charisma that offers a better experience compared to someone who's who's offering a bottom price. So we'll start with Ronnie.
I think 100%. I think, especially if you look at some recent releases, I think Don Ross is a good example of. I think you could have the most charismatic person in the world, and it would not be the best watch because of how much stuff there is in there. And basically, if someone, I think, to tie in with that, also having the knowledge of what they're actually ripping. And the amount of times I've seen a break where they don't know the person's name and they're saying it wrong. They don't know if it's a good hit or not. Like, they could have hit a massive card and they're just like, oh, yeah, that's this person. And you're like, you've just hit something big. You've got to buy not just into the break, but into the breaker. I think that's a massive thing for me. That, all right, it's nice. Say, for example, X spot was worth £10 in one break or 15 with the other. I most likely would go with a 15 if it's a breaker that I use all the time. And I actually would sit there watching them because I'm not going to ever say any names, but there's some breakers out there that I've been in past, whether it's this country or around the world, where you're like, it's a bit of a drag. Like, you're like, this should be entertaining. I've spent my money to watch this for a half hour, 45 minutes that I'm actually enjoyed and I actually want to come back. And I think that's just a bit of a business motto that surely that the better your streams are, the more likely I am to come back and spend money with you. So not just charismatic, but also knowledgeable in what you're breaking.
Yes, that's a very good point. Knowing your product. We'll send it over to Ben.
I mirror a lot of that. There's nothing worse than watching someone try to pronounce NFL players' names and they have no idea what they're saying. Yeah, it just you can tell within a few seconds if someone knows what they're on about, and if they are murdering it, what's the point really? It's an entertainment business. A lot of it is you watching a stream. You can pay someone to rip a pack and send it to you in the post. You don't have to watch it, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I think if you're wanting people's money for you to open a pack for them to buy part of your show, you should give them the best possible experience, best entertainment.
Yeah, it seems to be the point, doesn't it? Send it over to Chris. I know he's watching cricket, but you know.
Why am I getting stuck with this? I'm watching cricket all the time. I was paying attention.
Yeah,
there's nothing worse than watching a break and it's dead. You've paid your money and you're like falling to sleep watching it. I'd much rather pay a bit of a premium for the end. Effectively, it's entertainment, isn't it? You pay more money to go into a nice bar. You pay more money to eat nice food. So why would you pay more money to essentially watch someone open a box and you not hit anything? So yeah, definitely worth paying an extra few quid.
Okay, let's see what Harry has to say.
Yeah, I mean, I literally can't probably add anything more to what the boys have already said. I think it really does solely come down to the knowledge and the overall entertainment factor, experience, the customer journey. I think everything is just all comes down to the breaker. And I think, as Chris said, you'd expect to pay more to go to a nicer restaurant where you'd get better service, you'd get better food. So why would you not expect to pay a slight premium on a better break where you're going to get the better experience, better entertainment, just the overall experience is a lot more enhanced. So yeah, you would expect to pay more as the bottom line, and I'm sure people would agree that they'd be happy to pay the extra £5-10 per spot. It depends on the size of the break, how much spots are going for, but to have that better experience and to overall have that better knowledge. Yeah, you can't literally add anything more than that to what the boys have previously said.
I think Dan was shocked by that price there. I'll send it over to Dan.
£10 extra per spot. We're not all made of money, mate.
I'm just saying on the scale of the break or the price of the break or the spot price, like
HA's got that money, man. HA, man.
Yeah.
It's that top load of podcast, man. Podcast of the year for a reason, man. Jesus.
I'm
just messing, mate. Yeah, probably the only unique point that I would add on to that is you'd pay more for streamers to have more interaction with their viewers. So if you're on something like Whatnot, someone like, okay, I'll mention two people. I don't really want to name drop, but I will because both of them are a bit different, but they offer the same thing. You've got DGen and TFF. I've been in both of their. DGen's more of a singles consignment guy, but I think he is doing breaks. But TFF is definitely breaks. I've been in both of their streams before, and it's the way that they may not realize they do this, but the way that they recognize people, they remember people, they know they're calling people by their first names, even though their first name isn't their handle. It's that kind of relationship that they have with their viewers, that almost that friendship that people put their trust, they put their money into them having. It's essentially, we all know breaking's gambling, but you want to gamble with people that you feel safe with. And it's almost like they make it feel like a kind of a community. It's a sort of a back and forth vibe. No one takes themselves kind of too seriously. I would say in DGen's stream, a lot of people take the mick out of each other and have a laugh. And I think if you can kind of roll with the punches of the banter that's happening in the comments, as well as the sort of the banter that you're having, then it does make for a good stream. And it's like I say, sometimes I might sit in DGen's stream, and sometimes I might just watch. I might not buy anything because it might be short on a few quid, but you know.
Yeah, Gibby Goblin, isn't he? He's a little Gibby Goblin.
But yeah, I think it's great. I think being entertaining as an entertainer, someone that is doing these streams, if you recognize yourself as an entertainer, then why not? I think you should charge a premium.
Damn.
It's within your prerogative. Where's your prerogative?
It's my prerogative. Interesting. I'm going to completely disagree with everyone there. I think it's absolute nonsense. If I'm getting involved in a break, I don't really care if you're going to sing and dance for me. I'm paying for a certain spot. Pull me something, and that's it. I don't care if you know my name. I don't really want you to say my name. Read my handle. Package my stuff properly. Don't half-ass it. You know what I mean? Like, Jesus Christ. I don't know. I'm not on Whatnot to make friends. Basically, I'm on there to bet a spot because it's cheaper to me to buy Spurs, for instance, San Antonio Spurs, not Tottenham Hotspurs.
I was going to just leave right now if you're buying Spurs.
No, what do you think of Spurs?
I always keep it PG, mate. Come on now.
This is my channel.
Oh, that's good then, isn't it?
Shit.
What do you think of shit?
Tottenham.
Hey, there goes my Tottenham fans anyway. But so yeah, I'm not really for that. So, but again, it's a lot cheaper. It's a lot cheaper to get off the Tottenham Spurs, try and get the Wemby, and then it's to buy the boxes of NBA. So yeah, I'm not there for the nonsense and sit around.
Do you watch the break?
Fair enough.
If you keep your spot, do you watch the break, or do you just literally go in, buy it, and run?
But nah, listen, I'm not here to shit on anyone who's got time to be sitting there for 2 or 3 hours watching someone break cards. That's on you. My advice there would be, go on YouTube, learn to trade. Go on Google. I think it's Google certificates and that to get a good certificate behind you. If you got much time to waste watching idiots break cards for you, hype you up and sell you shit, make you feel like you're all friends, so you keep spending money on them, get you addicted to gambling. Trust me, life is a lot better than this. You've got stuff to do. YouTube's basically a school. Learn anything you want on there. Go on Google. They have certificates on there that will help you progress in your life and earn more money, and you don't have to get addicted to this. So yeah, I'm not getting caught up in some idiot's hype.
So are you saying you don't break, or are you saying that when you break, you just wait till something turns up in the post and then you see what happens?
I don't break anymore. I've got a few breaks. Yeah, I've got a few breaks in my life, but I've never like sat down and watched someone. Apart from when someone asked me to mod, can you mod my break for me? Didn't know what I was doing. Didn't know what I was doing. Not gonna lie to you. Just sat there going, yeah, sweet. Left it on. Carried on doing what I was doing. Every now and then I click on things. You know what I mean?
I've done that once or twice. I've bought random spots in a break, and then I've just seen what turns up.
Yeah, like surely you got like
quite fun.
Yeah, also just like with that timing, like there's so much time in the day.
Anything good though, so it's not really that fun. Oh, a few base cards. £40.
Well, that's the other thing, isn't it? Like you never know, you could get robbed off, innit? Like if they notice you're not in the stream, you might just think, oh, I'm not giving him the good cards. I'll just pass it off. But I just think I just don't have that much time in my life to be sat around until 10, 11, 12, 2 at night, 2 in the morning, sorry, just to be watching some guy break. I want a spot, send me the cards, sweet. I got stuff to do that's gonna progress my life, and yeah, so yeah, nonsense. I want the cheapest spot because it's gonna give me the less damage. Basically, less damage is better for me. I don't want to be getting into breaks for hundreds and thousands and getting base cards. Let's face it, when you're buying into a box or buying a box of cards, 90% of the box is useless, or to majority of people, it's going to be base. You're only after a small percentage. So yeah, I'm not there for that. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not there for that. But that's my rant on breaks. Don't gamble, kids. That's all I can say there. Life is better. Here we go. What's your biggest L to date, whether it's cards or to do with your content? Doesn't have to be money wise. It can be just the biggest fuck up. I'll start with Dan because you're in my spot there at the Duck's Head. I'll take the Duck Head.
I'd say two things. I'd say
there we go.
Trying to go for every rookie in a rookie class, just wasting money. I did that with NBA and I did it with football. And when you choose these rookies, these young rookies, if you're not spending that much money on them and you're not going for like silly things like base cards, are fine, but you're not going to make loads of money on base cards. Let's be honest here. Buying a Carboni rookie at £5 now, let's say, there's no point selling it at £3. You might as well just hold on. Just ride the wave. I mean, Xavi Simons' cards were down at one point. Everyone thought he was going to flop. Now look at him. So I think people are too quick to give up on players that are like, we're giving up on, I don't know, players like Mukoku saying, nah, he's crap, he's rubbish. Like, kid's 21 or something. Like, he's not going to hit his prime for another 6, 7, 8 years. So I think just things like that, like we're giving up on players too early. And yeah, wasting money on trying to get every single rookie there is and not really looking at why has his cards gone up? Sidney Raybiger, for example. I'm sure everyone knows about him. It was 16 playing in the Bundesliga. Everyone went mad for his cards. And then he got dropped down into Bundesliga 2 and doesn't even play in Bundesliga. Didn't even play in Bundesliga 2. And second one would be I went to Mark FC's house, did a video with Joe, and I was in charge of filming Joe for his opening segment of his video. He recorded about 20 minutes of like some of the best footage I've ever seen, and I forgot to hit the record. and he was so good about it as well. And I felt so bad for him at the time because he just knew the way he came into it, he had so much energy, and I think I just sapped it all out of him.
Yeah.
But then the second take was arguably better. But yeah, that was yeah, I felt really, really bad.
Yeah, shout out Joe as well, man. What a top guy he is.
Yeah, shout out Joe.
Shout out to RP.
I think my one would be not grading stuff earlier. I've been.
I thought you were going to say taking Harry onto the podcast. Then I really did.
Don't bring me into this.
Yeah, I would never say such a horrible thing. That was my second point, but my first point was obviously just grading stuff earlier. Obviously, I've never really flipped cards at all, so it's always just a collection standpoint. I always never really see the point of it to begin with. However, it does hold the better value of a card if it is graded to certain people, not to everyone. I'd probably say in terms of actual cards, that's probably the main one of just keeping everything raw. And I'd say the biggest mistake in general is just not letting cards go. It's very easy just to keep cards, no matter whether it's a small end card or a mid end card. You got to realize that if you're not going to get used to a card, you're not going to appreciate it. Let someone else appreciate it. Get more fluidity into the UK market. Get the cards moving around, and then buy something else. Go sell 10 cards and go and buy 2 nice cards or whatever it may be, but just not getting the cards in circulation into hands of people who actually want it rather than just sitting in a case, just doing nothing really. So it's actually getting them cards out of the collection that you're not really as fussed about anymore. That's my main thing of not appreciating potentially as much what I could have of the items I have picked up in 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, I think a lot of people can resonate with that. One of the Let's see what Ben has to say.
Business partner. That's got it.
That's it. Move on.
Jesus Christ.
No, as I still here. What do you reckon? Losing the stuff on the way to Germany?
Yeah, the Kurtz on the way to Germany were fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was fun.
I reckon that's one of it. Either that or doing every card show under the sun for a year.
Yeah, that's tough. Tough.
So much money on hotels, diesel and stuff.
Yeah. And time away from your family as well, though. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's what else it is as well. It's like that's sort of long weekends away from your family. It's, you can't get them times back.
Yeah, I don't know. Chris's missus paid us to go away, so.
I said you and your family, not Chris. They pay for him to go. Hey, another card show? No, there is one in Yugoslavia. Go there. He's like, oh Jesus.
I'll go anywhere, mate.
Let's see what Chris has got to say then. So the other member of Third Down. Is it the same for you? Is it Germany?
No. Mine's a personal L.
Oh no.
Yeah, very sad. Completed the 2019 Neon Rookie Element Auto Set NFL. Yeah, it seemed like a great idea at the time. Took best part of 2 years to complete. I had no real care for it. Like once it was completed, I was sort of bored of it. And then sold it. Very bad decision. Very bad. But yeah, I wouldn't even say it was that much of a journey. It got to a point at the end where I just wanted to get that final card to say I'd done it. And now I look back on it, and every time I see one of those cards, I think, what an idiot I was. And I don't think I'll move past it.
And now the whole world knows.
Yeah.
What an idiot.
What an idiot.
What an idiot. Right, go on. Let's see what Harry's is. Go on. HJ, what have you got for us?
I think mine would have to be my YouTube channel that had one video uploaded, and that was it after that. Made a YouTube channel. Obviously, did a London Card Show challenge.
Brilliant negotiating on that video as well for everyone.
Yeah, if anyone hasn't watched it, I mean, it's only one video on my YouTube channel. It's an absolute belter. But yeah, literally, I did one video from the London Card Show challenge, and that's been it. So that's probably been. I was such high aspirations to be like, yeah, you know what, I'm gonna start making videos. Yeah, it didn't happen. So that is probably one of the biggest ones. But I have a similar experience to Chris. Obviously completed the base 2020 F1 Chrome complete set, finished it all. One to however many $200, I think it was, for the 2020 first year F1 Chrome. Very similar to Chris. Got to like the last 2 cars, and I was like, a bit bored now. It's all just sat in a binder, not really too much going on. And yeah, sold it to some guy in the States, and I shipped it in the binder with all 200 cards.
Jesus.
I think the shipping cost me about 55 quid.
Oh.
I sat in the post office sending it off like, what am I doing? So arguably, I think I'll probably give it the biggest deal over the YouTube, but yeah, not to my brightest moments, that's for sure.
Yeah, mate. Listen, you can always bring that YouTube channel back, man. Do you know what I mean? It's not ended.
I could do.
Only you stopping you. Only you stopping you. Next time you get a new car, do a new latest pickup video.
Do it on the podcast and then we run.
He's got to get it off wrong first, hasn't he?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, drive around to run.
RP Services, the GOAT.
God. All right. Do you know what? Mine's actually quite similar to it was Dan. Chasing rookies. I thought I was big brained and I thought I was a smart guy. I was like, do you know what? Backup quarterbacks, man. Backup quarterbacks. Everyone's going down injured. Get them all. I was going after everyone. You name it. Ian Book. Was it Trevor Book? I don't know his name anymore.
Ian Book.
Yeah. Trevor Simeon. These guys, names were gone. I was just, they'll get game time. People are going to go crazy. I was Drew Lock. Everyone was backup. Everyone was third string. You name it. I was like, yeah, I'm a mastermind here. Watch these £4 cards. They're going to be 20. I'm going to rake it in. Yeah, about two of them out of like 32. two of the cards, yeah, went well. Yeah, idiots.
I think one of my first videos was me saying Eric Pascal is going to be one of the next big things. I've just seen someone dump his rainbow on Card Hobby recently. It's on there at the minute. I was like, oh, there's a throwback to players like Ansu Fati, Greenwood for different reasons. But it's still, there's an example of one that went wrong.
Yeah.
And also definitely, sorry, just to make a final point. Back in the kind of the lockdown days, anything you graded had serious value. Like you would just multiply whatever the card value is by 3 times because people wanted graded cards and there wasn't enough graded cards in the UK. But not noticing the fact that there was a bit of a what do they call it? There was too many slabs in the market.
Okay.
To the point where grading the lower end stuff and getting PSA 9s, you were wasting a lot of money because it would either not sell or sell less than the grading fee. So not noticing that quicker.
Yeah. So yeah, that's my biggest L for sure is trying to think I'm big brain, and especially when there's so much data at my fingertips. I'm not going to plug it. Marky Movies app. Use the code Mahomes for 20% off and 14-day free trial. But just make sure you're making the right choices right there with data and analytics, and it's all there for you. But just saying. So yeah, definitely a big mistake. Thinking I was better than the system. I've done it again with other sports. I've just gone, they're going to be 6 months a year. I can see it, and then they just fell off. Ja Morant, for instance, can't stay fit, and then when he can stay fit, he's too busy slanging that thing around like it's a goddamn wild, wild west, boy. So yeah, it's a shame, but it is what it is.
Slanging that thing around sounds like Drake or something. That sounds something.
I was going to say there's a few other people in the NBA.
You should probably specify for the listeners that you meant a certain weapon. Well, that's
whoa! Stop digging his hole, man. Just leave where it was and go right. Let it settle. Yeah. The Pistol Pete. Strap. What's the way? Jesus Christ. Anywho, Compared to 2 years ago, what has been the main difference in the UK scene in comparison to now? I'll start with Harry, who's in my spot. Boom.
Christ, that's a bit of a broad question, really, isn't it? I think the overall volume, the volume of cards that are available on eBay, on other platforms, the volume of people within the hobby, the volume of content that's now available. I think just the overall capacity of the hobby has just increased in size massively in the last 2 years. But also every aspect of any form of information, guidance, is all so much more accessible. I know, obviously, when I was in the hobby, obviously, 2021, I think, when I started, obviously there was a lot of like, right, well, what do you do? Where do you find recent sales? What are top loaders? What are this? What are that? But now I feel like there's so much more there at your fingertips, and people that make content that obviously guide you in that direction. Like I said, obviously, I think volume in general, obviously, is quite a broad word, but the volume in terms of literally everything you can possibly think of. Like I said, cards available, content that's out there, people in the hobby, people's collections, Instagram, the stories, posts, everything has grown on such a large scale in the last 2 years that it's difficult to arguably try and pinpoint certain aspects that have grown, because I feel like the hobby has grown altogether in the last 2 years. But for me, I think overall volume of everything, but particularly content, people in the hobby, and also cards available, arguably is probably the biggest change in the last 2 years. Closely followed by, like, I guess, platforms that are available, i.e. Whatnot, and so on and so forth.
Yeah. See what Dan has to say. Dan.
Yeah, I would say opportunity to buy and sell cards. There's much more places where you can buy and sell cards. So eBay, social media, Card Hobby, Fanatics Live, Whatnot, all these types of avenues, card shows. It's now easier to buy a card and sell a card than it used to be. I would say it's probably easier to grade. Turnaround times are probably a little bit quicker than we've seen previously. And I would also say people sticking to comps and understanding what comps are a little bit more. I think the Americans, especially when they came over for the first time, they were quite surprised about people just being firm at 3 or 4 times a comp, which doesn't makes no sense. I think they were perplexed by the whole situation, but I think now we're a lot more. We work off comps ourselves, and we expect as buyers, and we expect sellers to do the same.
Yeah, definitely. Benny boy.
As an NFL fan, it's a lot more accessible. It seems to be boxes, more products. There seems to be a lot more breakers, a lot more popping up on tables as well, which seems to be brilliant. And at the minute, everyone seems to be a breaker. That's another thing. There's the sheer amount of breakers at the minute. It's mental.
Yeah, everyone's a breaker nowadays.
Yeah, Fogged, Whatnot, Fanatics. When it comes, that seems to be the thing that is shaping where the industry is going in the country.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Even TikTok now.
Yeah, TikTok's taking off. A lot of people. Yeah, let's see what Ronnie's input is.
Yeah, I think it's just the knowledge within the UK is what's increased the most within a 2-year period. Whereas, like people said, comps or whatever it might be, it's just knowing what your card is worth, what makes it more valuable, least valuable, how to protect it. There's so much things that we've learned as a community, and it's not always about, I'll just list it up on eBay and just let it happen. Like you say, there's platforms available, card shows, trade nights as well. I think that's another thing what's come really good for the UK. It's just people not just wanting X amount for it and just sticking by it, whether it's trade plus cash, straight trade, whatever it may be. It's just people understand the hobby a lot more now. It's not, like I say, I remember, like Dan was saying, when people would say the card was probably worth 30 quid, but they had 150 on it, and they'd be like, I could probably move a little bit to 140. And you was like, well, no, like one was like 7 times short print than it sold for like 100. But I think we're just a lot wiser and smarter now. And I think that is most evident at card shows. Like you go table to table, people's prices will naturally change through the day as well. Whereas before they was just set. When they know near the end of the day, rather than take it home with them, they want to get it gone. So I think the UK has become a lot smarter and wise to the thing. Probably helps with the American influx over here that they've had the positive reflection on it, but also the UK going to the US and UK going to Germany. It's a lot easier now to intertwine with each other. And I think one of the best things is all the YouTube content from wherever it is in the world, because you get to see how it actually functions in America, which is just a completely different ball game because of the sheer quantity and the liquidity. There's people going around at the age of 15 with like 20 grand's worth of cards in their collection, which would be a massive collector over here. So we're so far behind there, but if we can take 5% of the US, what they do, it's only going to go in a positive direction for us.
Yeah, definitely. Let's interrupt Chris's cricket game and see what he's got to say.
Not having it. They're not even playing yet. They're just coming out the bat, boys. So I'd say the standard of card, as in the quality, the types of cards that are on the tables at the shows, is much better than where we were 2 years ago. You had a lot of low-end paper sets, not really desirable stuff. Whereas now you walk around a room at a show and you're like, there's a lot of good stuff in here. Definitely after going to Paris the other week, they had a lot more paper sets, base sets, low-end stuff, especially sort of soccer and American football. And it sort of felt like where we were as sort of collectors 18 months, 2 years ago. That sort of felt like a bit of a show like that. So, yeah, that's where we're at.
Okay, interesting. It's interesting to think about France. I've always thought this about the other European countries. Like, where are they on the spectrum? We obviously see Germany, very much a collector base. You've seen some of the cards there that you don't really see. They're very good at getting numbered cards and quite desirable cards. So that's kind of interesting. But again, I got to echo what Evan you said there. I think we have grown quite a lot. I think it's interesting because obviously we're talking about how people were so stubborn at the beginning. I think a lot of people bought in at a high. I think a lot of people got into this hobby at a high. So when it was coming down to prices, they didn't want to take too much of a loss. I think either people have took the loss and moved on, or they've learned really that they can take the loss, take the cash, and move again. So I think it's definitely helped with evolution. You always say you learn more in a loss than a victory. So I think that's definitely helps. And it's interesting that obviously the biggest show now in Europe and arguably one of the biggest in the world in London Card Show is probably in the top 10 for biggest in the world. And how that's evolved with the sort of UK climate. It's interesting that obviously now I don't say there's more of a demand for Pokemon TCG, but if you go back to the first couple of London Card Shows, maybe even if it's like 4 or 5, it was very much sports heavy. Again, due to his connections and who people sort of knew him from, his collection. So whereas now it's obviously quite heavy TCG, plushes, that sort of side of things. So it's interesting to see what happens in the future. But yeah, I think the last 2 years we've definitely seen a massive growth and a massive learning curve for everyone. I like this question. If you could design any card with any wild and outlandish feature, like a hologram that plays a highlight or a card that smells of a team stadium, what would it be and why? I'll start with Chris because he's in my spot there at the duck. There we go.
Hey!
Didn't want to put you there, I tell you. Didn't want to do it.
It's all right, mate. I'm here now. I like the hologram idea that you suggested just there, especially if it was a card relating to the moments like in the Super Bowl. In NFL, you have the Super Bowl, obviously the champ is here cards. If that related then to a play they made in the Super Bowl, that'd be sort of a really nice touch that you'd also assume would carry a bigger price because of sort of the attachment with it. So I'm going with the hologram.
Okay, it's a nice hologram card, yeah. That's a card you design. Okay.
Myself, easy. 2 minutes. Ben, can you just do it for me, please? Yeah. Cheers, mate.
Nice. I'll go see what Harry's design's going to be.
I think personally that a very similar way to the Third Down boys, where they make essentially the business cards as such, where obviously you can link it to wherever. That essentially you could do that with a card as well. So if there's a moment on a card, an event, a match, a goal, whatever it is, that you essentially can hold it near a phone. It can then highlight a video, a web page that then takes straight to this web page, and you can then see a video of it, whatever the event was, basically. So not necessarily design the actual physical card as such, but adds more to the complexity of the actual card itself.
So you're talking about like a QR code or like an NFC sign where you tap it and it brings up the memo on your phone, sort of to watch a video of it, sort of thing.
Literally, exactly.
Okay, nice. We'll bring up Sports Card UK. You mute yourself, mate.
Sorry.
Great point, that, by the way.
Yeah. I like the idea of a 1-of-1, either having a match one shirt that's a final shirt, so Champions League 1 or World Cup 1 or Euros 1, like a major tournament winning game use memorabilia in the 1-of-1, and then it be somehow matched or confirmed by the card company. And then maybe also a 1-of-1 having a personalized video that you could or couldn't share. So you might have a 1-of-1, and you might also have a 1-of-1 video of Jude saying congrats on the 1-of-1 or something, and no one else would see that card if you pulled it.
Okay, nice.
Although breakers would probably go, oh, look at that.
But, can you imagine?
Yeah,
can you imagine? I'd be fuming. Let's see what Ben's card's going to be like.
Probably a mixture of Dan's and Harry's, where you have the 1-of-1s, the really low numbered, where you can scan an NFC and you can see them actually signing it.
Oh, okay, nice.
They have a match one, and you can sort of match it to a specific moment. You scan your phone on it, it shows you videos of that game, or them signing it, that sort of thing.
That's nice. Before I bring this next person on, I should have said this for Harry as well, because I know he's on his phone texting his missus. I love you. I'll be finished shortly. But these guys,
Clash of Clans, bro.
Yeah, of course you are. That's what you call it. Clash of clams. You know what I mean? Jesus.
I'd be pleased.
For that.
But yeah, this is interesting because we're talking about if you could design a card. Didn't you two just design a card and hand that around? So you've had your chance.
Case.
Yeah, I didn't get one, but whatever.
You want that?
Racism.
Chris looks so relaxed. Look at him.
I'm watching the cricket,
He's
innit?
loving life.
I'm surprised I've not seen two beers come out. I've not seen the double part beers yet. I've only seen Ben drinking. I was like, what's going on here? He's got a cricket on. Look at him. He's told the missus to go upstairs. I've got a podcast on, and that's it. Look at him. Unbelievable. So yeah, go on, Ronnie. Let's see your card, lad.
I think it's tapping into recent design. They've done the Growl, where all the cards, if you put them together, displays an overall image. I think they should use that quite a lot more. Why not do that with like parts of a football badge? So like in 10 different sets, you put them all together. It's a different player a part of the badge. And then it can create a nice display. I think everyone wants to be able to display their cards really nice. So why not in Premier League Prism or whatever, like put one in each product for each team, and then you can put them out into a grid of 9, and it has a big badge or part of the stadium, but with different images of the players. It just would give you that thing to chase, but also you could put in a nice frame and not just being card related, but it actually be something generally nice to look at, and you can actually have it displayed on the wall or wherever, just creating a different impact rather than sitting in a mag top load or whatever it may be. Just have it presentable and gives you something to chase. I know like the spell bands where they spell out the name are really cool, but why not use the stadiums? Why not use the badges a lot more? Have it different kits, different players, legends, moments. I know they used to do it in the Futera from the late 90s, early 2000s, where it would display a massive image, but I think they could do that a lot more than just the growls.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Upper Deck do it in ice hockey. There's quite a few of the ice hockey collectors that have got the full Blackhawks logos in amongst. I think it's like a 16 card set. So yeah, it would be cool to see that come over to soccer. You just wish you were as big as me, Harry. Calm yourself down.
Chris, I was as cool as you, mate.
Do you know what I mean?
In there, I was just like, yeah, it's happening. Do you know what I mean? This is me.
Ron's TV went onto standby and he couldn't find the remote to stop it going off.
I just transferred it over to my phone.
Jesus. So the dedication there for me, boys. I appreciate this. The cricket's on, but no, obviously Harry's playing Clash of Clans, but must be boring.
Yeah, clan was about to start, mate.
Oh, look, another clan
and
card.
Dan as well. Unbelievable.
Oh, Dan!
Unbelievable. I might just kick them out.
We're actually a bit of base than that, boys.
Dan, you got to ping me over your little whatever it's called ID, mate. I got we got to become friends.
Oh, Clash of Clan friends. Oh,
Friends!
Jesus. Oh. Because it's interesting you talk about upper deck. I think it's upper deck that do the is it ice hockey? It's like ice used in a game from ice hockey.
Yes,
Little
they
ice
do.
in a capsules. So obviously by the time you get it, it's just water, which is baffles me. I mean, people are getting excited for water now. It's crazy.
You can freeze it. Stick it back in freezer.
I know, but that's going to damage the card, right?
Nah, not if you put it on.
Cardboard, man. You can't, yeah, then it come out. It's going to be wet, so then it's going to dry off, and it's just going to start getting all wrinkly and whatnot. But it'd be interesting with turf, get a bit of turf for the game. This is from the Super Bowl final. All right, it's nice that.
They did the confetti, didn't they? You could buy the confetti.
Yeah, the confetti, from the Super Bowls. A lot of people do that with the tickets, I noticed. But no, I think I was designing the card. I'd be similar to Flawless, putting I think it'd be Flawless in a sort of way. I could have a diamond in there or some sort of gem, which is nice, a nice precious gem, just to bring in sort of maybe a different audience as well, sort of precious gem audience. I don't know. I don't have artists draw a picture as well, so it's proper good artists as well, not like me, proper good artists, and so then you got maybe an art world crossover as well. So people go, yeah, this is the Van Gogh, look at this. Banksy's done one. I mean, I don't know, just
the Pikachu.
Yeah, just sort of mix it in. So I've got get sort of fan of art. Got the diamond in there. It's gonna have a value because of the diamond. This artist is gonna be very limited numbers. That'd be my design if I was just gonna be outlandish. Obviously, not for the shits and gigs. Pardon?
Would you like to see collaborations then with card companies and fashion brands, and then Pokemon, a Pokemon and Topps release?
Yeah, I think that's gonna be difficult because of
cool.
I think I'm sure it's Konami that have got Pokemon for cards.
Nintendo, isn't it?
Yeah, but I don't think they have the card thing, is it? Yeah, I don't know who it is with the cards. Who actually has a card? It's like Bandai for not Yu-Gi-Oh, Digimon. Yeah, they have Digimon. So there's a separate company that has the card rights. That makes sense.
Right.
So that's why we had with MetaZoo. They had a company. I think they did Bandai paper. Then they could do stuff with Topps as a side stuff. They did Topps Chrome, Topps paper. So I don't know how that would work out too well. It'd be good if it did. But I'm not too fussed about sports and Pokemon crossing over. I mean, I've not thought about it, but yeah, a Pikachu Harland. What we're talking about? I mean, it was maybe what we're talking about, a Saka Charizard. I don't know, but I just think
Clash of Clans Harland.
Yeah. Oh Jesus Christ.
Recent news.
Clash of Clan boys. No, but I think obviously I'm a big fan of the Tyson Beck stuff. I mean, everyone's now. I think the big thing now is people are jumping on piggy bank stuff. I always say everyone's now talking about him buying him. If you've got any, sell. I mean, everyone's hyping him up, sell him. So yeah, I just think more artists getting involved is good. Decent artists. And actually, back to a prior point, I didn't mention it, I forgot, but I think there's too many people hiding his hobby that aren't in hobby, and that's why we're getting these shit sets and crap checklists we're talking about. Because a lot of people just aren't in the hobby; they don't really know. They have a quota to fill. They go, "Oh, here we go. We get an Arsenal kit stuff out, and we'll get Van Persie to sign it." And we saw it with Zlatan in a Inter Milan shirt and AC Milan card. It's like, what's going on here? Does the guy clearly not see that's an Inter Milan jersey he's wearing?
The Roy Keane, Mika Richards, England, Ireland card.
Yeah.
A funny one for Irish fans.
Exactly, but the friends on TV. Oh, Jesus Christ!
But they're in, and they were in player kits, which was the weird thing.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just I think there's a lot of people not in the hobby. So again, more people in the hobby working in the hobby would be best, good for the hobby as well. But yeah, when it comes to crossovers, I'm not overly fussed. It's just if I could design a card, I'd definitely have a bank. I don't know, maybe Banksy because he's got a big name and a diamond in there, so you got the jewelry aspect of it all, and just to bring people together. Just I don't know. Just cross it over. Be wild. Why not? What has been your biggest purchase in the hobby thus far, and what are you aspiring for your next purchase to be? Your next big purchase to be. Sorry. I'll start with This guy, yeah, he's in my spot, Mr. RP.
I think my biggest purchase to date was the Alessia Russo 1/1 from Don Ross. It was even though it was the biggest purchase, it was kind of like one of the big chase sets from that actual set. If you was going to pick one of the rookies to get, it probably would be Russo #1. So that would be my biggest purchase to date, not just price wise, but also PC importance wise, I would say. And then my next big pickup would probably be in the women's line as well. Probably get another, like get a Superfractor. Maybe I'd love to get like a Leah Williamson Superfractor, but they're just silly money. So probably have to save up for about 6 years. But I'd love that to be the next one, or even maybe one of the 1/1s from New Arsenal Forever Arsenal women autos, what I haven't signed before. Like Chloe Lacasse, who's one of my main PCs, I would say.
Okay, nice. Head over to Chris.
Probably the Jalen Hurts RPA was probably the biggest buy, and future purchase wise, probably go with a Joe Burrow rookie auto. It'd be nice. I mean, I'm gonna have to sell Ben's kidneys to buy it.
Kidneys, you know.
Yeah, if anyone's in the market for a kidney of Ben's, very well functioning kidney, I'm more than willing to strike a deal.
I can't have time off. I'm the only one that does work.
That's true.
Okay,
true.
I'll sacrifice my own kidney.
Chris just sits there like this.
Exactly.
Wow.
Imagine him.
Jesus.
Just wait until the calendar comes out. And
no.
I'd like the Top Loaded Podcast 101, the next set they release. Ideally, Topps Chrome. It'd be really nice. So, yeah, I'll wait for that.
Keep waiting. Let's see what Harry's big purchases, or has been.
If we're going on monetary value at the time of the purchase, it would have been a Mick Schumacher F1 Chrome 2020 auto, PSA 8 auto 10. I think at the time it was about 380 quid. I think it was, and I sold it 2.5 weeks later for the same price. I was just like, why have I spent this much money on Mick Schumacher? If we're going, I don't know what was going through my head really. Me and F1 2020 Chromes didn't really get on very well. But I think in terms of the overall PC would have to have been the recent purchase, which is the Erdegaard Green Flood 3 for the PC. I think would have been sort of the biggest pickup. Aspiration has to be none other than the Thierry Henry 1996 Panini Foot rookie sticker. Not really too fussed on PSA grade, like whether it be a 1, 2, 3. And I know Ben Atley coincidentally has put one on his story today. Ronnie sent me over at about 12:30 this afternoon. I was like, mate, it's far too early in the day for this. I'm not had a beer yet. But yeah, I think that in terms of aspiration for next purchase, I think it would have to be at some point down the line. It would have to be the 1996 Henry rookie sticker.
Yeah, so was Ben advertising that for 975?
He was, yes.
So what's that, like two of Ben's kidneys or just a one?
I mean, if Ben was down to me as well, then even better. How many kidneys you got, Ben? You got any frozen anywhere, or
Ronnie's liver, Ben's kidney, and some of Pat Grip's hair, mate, and you got it.
Hey,
what about Dan? What's Dan going to give me?
Nah, me and Dan get out of this.
Unbelievable.
Who run the auction and whatnot?
Jesus Christ. If Whatnot's like doing body parts as a thing,
Dan's thinking that is content.
You vlog sorted. Jesus. I took Pat Rip to Turkey. This is why I got hair explant. I mean, Jesus. Let's see what Dan's big purchase is and going to be.
I would say so. The most money I've spent in the hobby is probably doing the Fulham 2020 set.
Oof, yes.
Which is multiple cards.
Yes.
And I actually completed today. What? The orange to 25 set. What? I'm going this way. Can you see that?
Oh, yes.
Nice.
So, yeah, I was pretty happy with that.
Front and back.
Yeah. On a single card, probably the Jude 1/1 from Obsidian, second year.
Okay.
And then Future purchase, probably a house. It's not a car. It's not a
Just for
hobby.
your cards.
Rate it.
A content house.
So is that not a TV show? House of Cards? Nice.
No, I don't want to rent basically anymore. Basically, so I'm not spending a whole lot on cards. Like loads of money on cards at the minute because I'm just trying to save for a mortgage, which is a lot of money in southern England.
Move to the north.
Mortgage, a one-on-one toasting. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what I'd rather, but
Come to the north.
I'd say move to Yorkshire, get yourself a job at a shop that's open soon.
Exactly.
I'd say. Yeah, so I'd say.
Come to the shop.
Yeah.
Vlog from the shop. I'll tell you what.
Where's good in Yorkshire?
Nowhere.
Where do you live?
Shut.
The shop.
The-
There's
the-
houses for sale on the internet for like 20
Come
quid.
to
Oh,
shop.
I'd say, you'd be able to buy houses for maybe a few of your cards there. Do you know what I mean? Jesus, but the best thing going Yorkshire is getting out of Yorkshire. Go to Manchester. 0161. See what?
I'm actually in Manchester next weekend. You know.
Yeah,
I
no
go
one
and
else.
live in Moss Side.
Fucking hell, all right.
No one else. What are you talking about? You're a joke, man. If I catch you in Manchester, it's a long day for you. Yeah, long day.
So, you don't leave the house, Harry. You're all right, mate. You ain't
I'm about to
catching
say, have you seen Daylight, Patrick? When was the last time you saw Daylight?
When your mum kicked me out.
If you find it, let me know, mate. I haven't seen her in 8 years.
I'll text her tonight.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to live up north.
Message your story
Yeah, cheers, Dan.
is
Back to
on
the
my
again.
podcast.
Too far away from the London Card Show.
Oh,
Nah, you can
Jesus.
jump in the van, mate. It's fine. There's loads of room.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. Benny Boy. Biggest purchase.
Mahomes rookie
Hello?
stallion.
Oh.
Mahomes rookie stallion patch to 25.
Oof.
Biggest
Oof.
one.
Yeah.
Future purchase is a case of Optic.
Damn. What year?
I just want to pull it down. Can I go back to the biggest tell is the amount I spent on Optic and not pull it down?
You can do, yeah.
That
Do you
was
have
it.
do you have a figure amount of how much you spent on Optic?
No, because Kate isn't here. No, probably not.
Yeah, just text it. I'll add it in later on.
About-
It was how much?
Thousands.
Uh,
Thousands.
$1 million.
Probably bought about.
that's not that much no more, sir. Okay. Yeah, okay. Nice. Myself in. I'd say my biggest one. I'd say it's my Mahomes Optic Hollow is my biggest purchase. Thankfully, because I'm not going to shows as much anymore, I decided to not go shows as much and use that money for good. Buy more cards. My next big one. I'm trying to do like the Mahomes rookie Prism. Luckily, it's obviously silver that year, which is nice. So no base, and then the selects. There's 2 rookie selects that year, the concourse and I think it's field level. So one, if I've got the money to do both, I'll do both. But yeah, getting one of both of them and it's definitely my next sort of hit list. I don't think I'll ever get like a national treasures, RPA or anything. So I can keep dreaming, but I'll stick with the Prism and the select. Like a good boy. Oh, this is a good one considering what we talked about with cards. So, will NFTs like NBA Top Shot, NFL All Day, and any potential soccer one take over from sports cards as collectors can actually see moments from games, first goals, or important saves, etc., from the actual games they went to, as opposed to just looking at a card, a picture of someone, and you're not really knowing when that picture is from. We'll start with you, Ben, 'cause you're in my spot. So yeah, do you think like video moments are going to be the future? We've talked about it before with NFCs, essentially tapping a card, but do you think NFTs could be the future?
Not particularly.
Okay.
I don't have the phone battery for it.
Very true.
Stay up Pornhub is what I'd say there. I mean, spend less time on Pornhub and more time watching the sports.
No. Again, it's an earshot. But yeah, I think the actual thing is having something in hand. So if you don't have something in hand, I think you'll struggle.
Okay. Interesting. Mr. Ronnie.
Personally, no, I can't see the point of not having something. It was always the same as like the profile pictures and all this that people were going mad for the NFTs. Unless you can't have the physical item, I just can't see the purpose of it. Like, what's the point of spending all that money for something just to be in the cloud? You might as well just have the money in your pocket or buy an item where you can display it off. And then if you want to sell it, you don't have all these weird loopholes or marketplaces. So for me, I think it's just a bit of a waste of time. But everyone to their own. And obviously, some people say the thing about collecting cardboard.
Yeah, true that. Big Chris.
So no, if you don't have it in your hands, and it's not something
course.
like you can hold and put somewhere and look at, then you're just going to forget about it. Like, how many times do you take a picture and never look at it again? Like, it's exactly.
I always
the
look
same.
at my picture of you, Chris.
I was waiting. Yeah, I was waiting for that.
It's printed and on your bedroom wall.
It is. I bet I've got to do the made up of your face as well.
Stop it. I've got the pillow
Wow.
of yours. It's dead comfy. And when I press
Is it?
it, it's got your voice. It says, "Go to sleep now, Chris. It's okay, Chris." And off to sleep I go.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm glad it helps you, Chris. I'm glad it helps you.
So yeah, but a range of top-loaded pillows is definitely something I'd buy more of.
Don't do late night podcasts, they say. Now I see why. Jesus. All right, now let's see what Harry's got to say then.
Yeah, I've never really understood NFTs or all of that sort of market, so it's a bit of a weird one. But yeah, as same as the other boys, no, I can't see it overtaking the whole card collecting scene. I said everyone has their preferences. Most people prefer to buy something and have it digitally on their phone. They can take everywhere and have it at their fingertips. But there's nothing quite like holding a one of one or a mag card, a slabbed card. So yeah, I can't see it. Can't see it taken over really.
All right now. Dan, you're all muted, but yeah.
Yeah, I agree with the lads. I absolutely don't get it. I think it's full of pump and dump schemes and money laundering, and I well, 99% of NFT projects have gone to zero. I think it's proven it's failed as an idea. I think things like what Damien Hirst did about burning pieces of artwork, or you could have the NFT, was smart, but yeah, I mean, we're all into sports cards because we like tangible objects. Like, we like looking at things that we can hold and have and own and collect. You can't. I just feel like with a physical collection, there's something nostalgic about that. It brings lots of joy to people. I just think pictures on the screen are, maybe we're the wrong generation for it, and generations much younger than us will think completely differently. But no, I think NFTs are a load of waffle and crap, to be honest.
Waffle and crap. Wow. Looks like I'm the only one's going to disagree. Yeah, I think Dan sort of hit a bit on the head there.
Is it your question by any chance?
So come on, yeah. I think genuinely, maybe it's a generation gap thing. I think the way that these kids open these FIFA packs nowadays is like, I've got a cousin that's done the same. He's literally just spending hundreds of pounds on his mum's card and then getting obviously bought the next day. They don't, for them it's the thrill of these packs, pulling the greatest player. They play that player maybe a game or two, and then also they want more packs to get another players because there's a new legend pack or whatever. Jesus Christ. I like the fact it's an actual moment. You get to watch a little clip, whether it's NBA, it might be a nice dunk. I think of like the LeBron card I'm sort of semi chasing, the Kobe tribute, that if I can get a nice price I'm going to pick up, and to have that as a video would be kind of cool, and if that's like a Kobe tribute sort of video. But I get it, like, how often do you want to go on your phone and start showing people, hey, look at this. Says the guy who does have both apps on his phone right now, who can say, look at this. But yeah, I don't know, it is maybe a generational thing, but yeah, I do like the fact that it's you can have more of an attachment because you could be at that game, you could let you go back, buy a pack, get a moment from that game, and then watch it back and be like, I was there, and you might even see yourself in the crowd, and you'd be like, yeah, I was there for that. It was a insane moment.
You don't have to record it on Sky though, mate. And you can
I was going to say, you could just go on YouTube, couldn't you? Yeah, I mean, like,
it's not the same, is it? Look at me, look at this.
It looks like the same footage.
It's not. It's not though.
Why is it not?
Is.
That's just from the NFL up though, isn't it?
So it's not from the same, because obviously Sky have different cameras to DAZN have different cameras to the NFL. So that's why it's not the same. Say less.
Are you clutching at some very loose straws here.
Do you want to get muted? You joke, man. Shh.
Genuinely, what else do you get apart from a video?
I get pleasure. Same I get from a card. Again, I think the good thing is with the numbers as well. You don't get like the base is it could only be like a couple hundred, for instance. So you're not flooded with buying a pack. And obviously, don't do box either. You're just buying a pack of like X amount of cards. And it's like $5, and you're getting like numbered. Everything's numbered as well, so everything's numbered to a couple hundred. Like that Pacheco was like I think it's 199. Again, the higher up he goes, the more money it is. Like some of them are daft money. I think the Mahomes Super Bowl moment went for $250,000. So yeah, I don't know. It's just sort of nice having their moments. I think especially if you get a Super Bowl moment, like if your team is a Super Bowl and you get to get that moment, and they played like numerous clips from that video, it's kind of cool. I've got one.
Missus feel that you spent $250,000 on that clip?
You think she knows? You idiot. Do you think she knows about half stuff? Why do you think it stays in Morocco and Malacca? I got the Saturday morning. Is it Saturday morning club? I always forget. Saturday morning club. Mickey Mouse thing. Yeah, it's in Malacca. I've got a signed Mahomes jersey. American Locker. I can't bring that home. I like living here. I don't want to get kicked out. Jesus. Yeah, you're mad. Yeah, she can't know that. Jesus Christ.
What's the difference between someone spending $250,000 on having their own angle of someone lifting the Super Bowl than just going to the Super Bowl and recording it off their phone and then having that same angle?
I mean, you got to record like 5 hours there, haven't you? Your battery be dead.
So when you buy an NFT, you get the whole 5 hour. You get 5 hours coverage.
No. So you get your team's like plays that won, so the touchdowns, any like, goal line defending plays, like the Jerry Sneed, the Ravens, where he punched it out on the goal, on the that sort of stuff. It's highlights, isn't it? Highlights.
Can you
They're
just
paying
create
for highlights.
Well, everyone's put them. What was that?
If you create your own
So
highlights on your phone, they're your own, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're a one-of-one.
Yeah, but I think the problem is there now is you compare it now to YouTube. Oh, we just do this on YouTube and create your own. I'm saying compared to cards. We buy cards, it's just a picture. We don't know what game it is. We're lucky with Sarah, for instance. They do say, here's a patch, it's from this game. But I'm saying, like, for instance, now is at the next level of we've got cards that are just a picture from a random team. And now we can actually get moments from games we actually went to. We know it's from that game. We were there for it. We get the Super Bowl moments, and we know it's affiliated to them sort of things. Is it the next evolution? Is it the next stage? We obviously see that Panini do NFTs, Topps do NFTs. Topps NFTs actually do contain moments as well, whereas Panini NFTs are just the cards. So it's interesting seeing the dialogue and where it's going to go. NBA Top Shop and NFL Top Shop is obviously slightly different because they are full-on plays. But yeah, it'll be interesting which way it goes if it does go that way.
How do you display them?
So you can display them on any phone, iPad. There is a company, which I can't think of the name off the top of my head, that do sort of basically like mini iPads. You can get them implanted into your wall. You can just have them around like photo frames, and they can play through numerous. There's also like virtual galleries you can set up, and you have to charge people to go to on the metaverse. People actually charge to go into your vault essentially and see your NFT displays from different platforms. So I like the fact I can earn money from it. I can't earn money if people come to my house look at my cards.
You can charge them.
I can't. I live in Manchester. Are you mad? Yeah. If someone did a UK card set, what would your pose be? I'll start with Dan because he looks like the most like maybe the Cole Palmer.
Yeah, I went for a walk earlier and I was really trying to think about this, and I just could not think. I could
Confucius
not think of like if it was a card, what I would actually do, and I just feel like anything I did was cringe. Like if I went like this and did a serious face, it'd be too cringe. If I smiled, it'd look goofy. So, if anyone's listening, don't put me on a card. Although I do put myself on cards at every top
so you've
step.
been on a few.
I made that a thing. I actually got one down here.
No one
and I do look really awkward in it. So I'm holding the bat like it's a lightsaber rather than a baseball bat. So it does look really awkward.
Dan, I am your father.
Yeah.
So that's your pose.
Yeah. I mean, my go-to pose for photos is I do the bouncer thing. So I kind of go like this.
Oh, you're odd.
I'd probably do that. I wouldn't go like, you know, people do the Java.
That's
Screenshot that
Ronald's
one.
thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
screenshot that.
Want to chat about flow? Tell a fella come see me.
Yeah, the V for
Wee.
victory. No, I'll probably just do a nice smile, closed mouth smile.
Okay. Big Ben, what's your pose for a card?
Probably car cleaning. Pretty much all I do.
A man in action. A man in action, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, then. I suppose Kurt's going to get us plugged there as well, so Jesus. RP.
I think I just got to go natural habitat, just holding a pint, easy enough. Obviously, just solid. I think everyone's got a bit of experience of that pose, but I will be taking that one. And then the one of one, if it's got an auto, it can be after a few pints, so it could just be everywhere and get like PSA 1 auto.
As long as it's not a sticker, because you'd had no chance then. As long as it's on card, you're all right. Big Chris, what's your pose?
Well, I think after tonight,
Lying back here.
Yeah.
just doing no work.
It's got to be that.
Everyone expects. Just me, auto above, just there. Look
It's
brilliant,
brilliant.
wouldn't it?
Nice background to first. If someone wants to screenshot that and gets it down. You know, have a cricket pose now.
Just like looking into like the
Or a screenshot.
long distance, dreaming about how Ben can make me a millionaire one day, and I can carry on riding his wave.
Whoa, okay.
Cheers,
wait.
Ben.
Might try to figure out how to spell Chris for your signature, innit?
Spelled it right there.
Just remove the tadpole in the top right-hand corner.
I thought it was his wooden spoon. Like,
Yeah, if I say that wooden spoon. Yeah,
Yeah, it says world's greatest stirrer. Some things never change.
Jesus Christ. And we'll go over to HGA.
Oh, the props out.
So I think that if it was a podcast card, I thought me and Ronnie could reenact the Aubameyang Lacazette. Like the little handshake. I
You've
thought that
just
was quite
had your own
cool.
card. Why don't you do it?
Yeah, well, all right. It was quite like a last minute thing.
I didn't know
So-
that.
First off the print.
I think.
Yeah.
Huh?
First off
First
the line.
off the print. So it's,
Yeah,
you're only,
exactly, yeah.
it's only your first one.
We've not even got to choice yet.
Yeah. You need an Asia exclusive.
We
Exactly.
need that dragon scale, man. Need it.
I think so. If it was a podcast card, it would probably have to be something like that. If it was me personally, probably me
Slab
just
mag.
sat in the motor or holding a slab mag. Motor for the day job, slab mag is my secret obsession.
Or both.
I can literally just hold a slab mag, right?
Or you could be sat in a slab mag holding a car.
With
Think
that
about it.
face.
Think about it. Think about it. Think about it.
Yeah,
There
sounds
we
like
go.
a good idea.
I thought so. Mix it up, man. Never let her know your next move. I'd go for the Jimmy Bullard. Pants up to my nipples. Just that's all strut. I think that's the best pose I've seen on Saturday football in my life. What a legend he was. What a legend.
Fulham
What made... What you say?
Fulham legend.
Someone's got to be. Who else would it be? Stan Collymore? Oh, Jesus. What made you take the jump into the respective field? The first step is often the hardest, especially in a space where in the UK not many people have trodden a path. What was the spark to put yourself out there? We'll start with HGA.
Who wrote that?
The guy who
question?
stopped-
Aristotle.
I was about to say, what we've written an essay?
What was that?
The guy who stopped his
It's the
YouTube
most
channel.
philosophical question I've ever.
It was like something from I don't know.
That's
Blimey.
been engraved on the
That's
stone.
out
That
of mice and men.
Men.
Ready.
Hello, calm down, Lenny.
So basically, why did you start in the hobby?
Yeah, what made you
In a
take that?
nutshell.
Yeah, what made you take that
Can we hear the
jump?
question again?
Yeah,
Can you read it in a Yoda voice or something?
I definitely cannot do the other voice. But yeah, what made you take you jump into your respected field? The first step is often the hardest, especially in a space where in the UK not many people have trodden a path. What was the spark to put yourself out there?
Very good.
Thank you.
I
Ben. Right, well, I got Ben again. He's disappeared.
mean, to be fair, me personally, for my personal page, would have been COVID. We weren't allowed to go out and socialise or weren't allowed to leave the house. So, I guess for me to sort of,
He's just gone again.
come-
He kicks
Come
still out,
to
add himself
social-
back in again.
It's because he's on dial-up down there, isn't he? Pop, down road from me.
I think his internet's run out. It's probably why he's got to put some money in the meter.
Yeah,
Ben,
Katie's got
Chris,
50 in.
Chris, go down there, wind it up for him.
I can't. I'm not allowed. He's not allowed out the cellar.
Jesus.
But yeah, so I think for me personally, also it was during COVID, so it was like a bit of an outlet to interact with people, talk to people, and sort of start building the brand as such. With the podcast, I think the first step again was obviously had known Ronnie for a period of time at that point anyway, and then the idea of creating content and having that responsibility to help people within the hobby obviously appealed a lot to have that platform to build on. So yeah, it's probably the reason why I took the first steps, obviously, into the I guess the personal HJA Cards UK brand and also the podcast.
All right now. Go to Chris. Take away from cricket there, mate.
Yeah, so England won about 10 minutes ago, mate. It's all right. So I'd collected cards and mini helmets and memorabilia for a while. Ben had 3D printers, and he's always wanted to go into business with his mate. So I effectively was his mate.
When's he gonna do that then?
Foundation.
When's he gonna do that?
Yeah, his dream became a reality, and here we are, happily married to the hobby. Looking forward to the rest of his lives together in the shop. Isn't that right, Benj?
I think we've just been in one big game of chicken, haven't we? We sort of started, and then like neither of us want to drop out first.
What a friendship! What a friendship! Tell you.
Yeah, 15 years deep.
Yeah.
Big Dan.
Yeah, definitely COVID was what started everything off. And then I think content creation kind of came with that. And I think content creation is something that has been a really good, useful outlet for me, and has given me maybe a slightly different hobby experience to your kind of average collector. So yeah, definitely lockdown. The whole Gary V, kind of how a lot of people got in, bought one card, thought it was just going to be one card as an investment, decided to dive a bit deeper, realized that there's football cards when they started coming out, like Panini Prism 2019-20 is kind of around that sort of that time. And then started small, bought loads of the wrong things, wasted a load of money, and now I'm here.
No, I'm here. This is how
Broke.
I got into it.
But happy.
Hey, broken happy, man. Like everyone, eh? Big
Well
Ronnie.
Yeah, I think when it comes to the podcast, obviously wanted to create a platform for the UK to try and get their names out there a lot more. Plus, try and be a neutral playing ground that wouldn't get involved in much conflict, but just be able to try and help each other grow. So whether it's breakers, businesses, general just collectors, content creators, that you can talk to each other, bounce off each other's ideas. Everyone gets to know each other. And I see the similar things in the US, but always thought that the UK needed an idea of a similar thing of just trying to promote us rather than always trying to promote the US side. So it was just trying to give the UK their own talking point / space to talk. And I think it's gone down much better than what I anticipated. I didn't think it'd be this long still talking on a podcast, but I think that just meant that there was that space what the UK needed. And now it's been fantastic to see all these other podcasts start growing as well, that no matter what type of sport it is, what type of content angle, there's a place for them to talk and chat about cards, whatever it may be.
Nice. Big Ben. I don't know if you were here for the question, Ben.
Yeah, sorry, got off just after.
Okay, good.
I think we really started pushing when we entered into the card hobby. Chris had obviously been in it for a while, and I was more memorabilia. And the more we got into cards and the more we figured out, I'm obviously quite an introvert. Chris is the extrovert. He does all the talking for us. So just knowing that there's a big gap in the market where almost being like a friendly face where we can guide people through, obviously not cards, but the supplies, the stands, we saw that gap and just went for it. from personal experience, really.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, people probably know my story. I went to the London Card Show, noticed there wasn't much content going out. Then I missed the second one, I think it was, because it was the same day as the NFL. And again, no content went out. And the third one was like, I'm going to make sure I put some content out so people know there's a card show in their area. And then it just sort of spiraled from there. Like, oh, and they used to let people know in Scotland's card shows and Manchester's card shows, and started going to card shows, putting out content of just card shows. And the rest is history. And now I just put out content telling people to use data and analytics to buy cards and invest. So we have, selling points. Here we are today. What a dream. What a dream. A last question. And this is a bit of a Brucey bonus one. Should breaking be regulated? I'll start obviously with Benny Boy.
Yeah, massively so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the amount of money people can put in and the speed that you can lose it. People don't really know what they're getting into a lot of the times when they're entering the first breaks. And I think it's very easy to go down a slippery slope, especially with Klarna, credit cards, everything. The amount of damage you could do in one night is, you've got to know what you're getting into.
100%.
I think people have to be protected by it.
Yeah, 100%. HJA.
Yeah, couldn't agree with Ben more. I think there needs to be some sort of some sort of boundaries that are set. Obviously, people are responsible for their own actions, but in the same breath, as Ben said, you can get down such a slippery slope so quickly, and it is incredible how much damage someone can do in the space of an evening during one stream, let's say. So, I think there needs to be arguably some form of regulation that needs to be put in place just to help coincide, obviously, with the amount of money that can be pumped into these breaks.
Yeah. Big Chris.
I echo what both those have said. Especially when you look at it like people with gambling addictions, if you do the gam stop, you can't gamble anymore. But then you can still effectively gamble through cards. So there should be, for me, if you banned yourself from gambling, you should be banned from using Whatnot in the other platforms in exactly the same manner. Whereas at the minute, you can do all those steps to stop yourself from gambling, but then you can still log on to Whatnot and blitz £1,000, £2,000, £3,000 a night and put yourself in a real big hole. There needs to be more regulation, more education, and some more safety nets.
Yeah. Big Dan.
Yeah, I have to agree. I was going to say about the gambling stops as well. Potentially, maybe even an age block in terms of a proof of age. I don't know how many young people are breaking at the minute, but I think Klarna was a step in the wrong direction personally. I think that was maybe a little bit greedy from the company that did do that. I just think when you don't have to me, Klarna is that you don't have the money now, so you're gonna stagger it across different payments with things like breaking and how much spots cost. I think that is a little bit worrying, and we know kind of even with singles, you're not really safe. Like the market can be volatile. You might buy a single now and think that Jude has had an amazing game that night, and he might get injured tomorrow. You never know. So, or some horrible news could come out about a player, some off-field incidents and things like that, and then you're stuck. So I do think it should be treated as gambling. It very much is gambling. The thrill of getting have a horse win a race or have your hit pulled, then to me it's the same. I don't understand how it's not regulated at all. I think it's breaking is a great way. It's fun and it's enjoyable, but we have to understand that gambling can be like almost a sickness or a disease. It can affect people differently, and I think there needs to be definitely needs to be some responsibility there from the people that are hosting breaks to allow people to ban themselves or to put locks and protections on there.
Do you think that's down to the breaker
how
or
we do
the
it.
company?
It's like, then a lot of research and professional research and legal teams need to get involved in something like that. So it's not an easy task by any means. So I do kind of empathize with the what's the word, the not ethos, but the don't know. I understand it's a complicated matter.
Yeah. So would you put emphasis there on the breaker themselves and that company they work for, or the actual platform?
The platform.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's the platform. The platform should be the one in same way that the bookies are the companies. I think it's the company that's hosting the break should be the ones that offer things like the gambling stops. So they should link up with maybe they should even link up to gambling companies. So if someone stops themselves betting from the local bookies, there's some link in there with some of the break hosting things. I mean, any individual can go on any sort of platform and just join a break, but if someone wants to stop and they're willing to, they know that there's methods there to them stop them or ban them, I think that should be made available.
Okay. Big Ronnie.
Yeah, I don't think there's much to add really, but I personally believe whether it's an independent breaker or the company that running it should fall under the same legal regulations as all the gambling companies in the UK, and it's probably one of them would have to come from a government level. And obviously, with it how niche it is, it's going to be a very long time before it gets to a size where the regulation becomes compulsory. But I think it will definitely come down to, at some point, it will go down into a government level and actual legislations and policies will be put in place like they have done on casinos, gambling websites, gambling companies. But it will come very high up when it does. But it's when it's so niche, it's very hard to put that level of control on it. So it's going to be one of them, maybe in 5-10 years down the line, it'll fall under the same legislations as the major gambling companies and casinos. And then that would be when it will be fully regulated and have to have people who are very specialized in policy, but also very specialized within the hobby to be able to run it. Because it's a very complex and not very straightforward at all. Like comparison, it's gambling, but in a different means because you're getting a physical output rather than just like a currency-based one.
Yeah. Again, it's obviously agree with what everyone has said there. I think this is one of the things we've wrong with society as well. I mean, look how easy it is to start up a social media and racially abuse Saka for missing a penalty for England. Like there's no sort of, I'd say like consequence of repercussions, but there's no sort of safeguard to say, okay, we need to have your birth certificate or your passport to start an account where you can go on and say these things and have a repercussion if you do something wrong. It's crazy to think that how many social media platforms there is, and you just have an email address. You can get them free. Go on Google and just keep creating email addresses. You can bully people online, sexually harass people online. You can racially abuse people online. We just don't protect ourselves very well, and it's also going to our sort of gambling culture of you just go on the app and get down another app and use another email address. Set a safeguard of a couple thousand. You do it on William Hill, you do it on Betfred, whatever it may be, and all of a sudden you've got like 6-7 ones, and I don't know if the gambling ones have Klarna like Whatnot does, but I mean you're just gonna be chasing tail. You're gonna end up paying X amount on Klarna, having to pay it off in 2 weeks' time, but in that 2 weeks you're probably going to be involved in more breaks or more gambling issues, and then you're just constantly chasing, and it's a sad state, and it's a big argument of, should we be in a dictatorship of just being told these are what you can do, this is what you can't do? Because we seem to have a lot of free will and we just seem to be fucking up quite a lot. It's kind of sad. Humans seem to be stuck in this rut of not wanting to sort of progress in a weird way, and rather just flirt money away on nonsense and alcohol, drugs, gambling, and not progress. But we live in a free world, apparently, in a good society, not a failed one. But that's a different conversation for a different time. I mean, I've had you guys for so long. I feel bad, but I actually appreciate you all. We'll end it there. unless anyone has anything to say on anything we touched on, anyone anything to add or any comments.
Yeah, I've got
you wanna
one
make?
thing to add. Please use
Yeah.
TTP10 at Third Down
There we
Displays
go.
to get 10% off all your hobby needs.
Oh God.
Dan, do you want to say your code as well?
Yeah, Sportscars UK. Get 15% off, not 10.
Ooh, you're
Hold on, let me just try that.
That's
Hold on.
yeah. That's Chris, quick, get on the website, Chris.
Chris,
Get on
change
there, yeah, quick. Can you tell me that's fraud behaviour? Jesus. But no, I do
Vote
appreciate everyone.
Vote El Toro, vote
Oh, yeah.
Patrick
Back that one.
Mahomes,
Yeah,
Vote.
vote El Toro.
Third Down, and vote Top Loaded Podcast.
Look at that there. Look at that. The man of the people. But no, I appreciate everyone for coming on. It was a fun round table. It was a long round table. A lot of questions. I didn't think 2 questions from each person would be on for so long, but it has been. But it just goes to show there's so much to talk about, so many different insights. I'd love to have you guys on to do it again. But yeah, it's been fun. Maybe talk about other things in the hobby. Maybe just talk about life in general. But no, I appreciate everyone for listening this far. I might have to split this up in 2 episodes. Jesus, 2 hours, 5 minutes. But no, I appreciate everyone. And yeah.